Yes, hello. Today, we're breaking down the best deck dominating the Pokemon TCG Pocket meta right now, Arceus EX and Dialga EX. If you're looking for a deck that's bulky, consistente, and deals massive damage, this is it. Let's break it down. Arceus EX plus Dialga combines consistente, power, and high defense. While other decks struggle to set up, this deck assembles its game plan, making it a nightmare to face. The strategy? Fuel up God as fast as possible, using Dialga EX to accelerate energy and unleash devastating attacks. Let's talk pros and cons real quick. This deck is highly consistente and easily finds its key pieces. Do you hate losing because you can't find your combo pieces? This deck has never heard of it. This deck deals massive damage quickly, allowing you to outpace your slow as molasses opponents. To top it off, this deck runs bulky Pokemon, big, thick Pokemon, allowing you to survive most hits and live to win the game. But like all decks, this deck has its weaknesses. You always want to start the game with Dialga, so opening up with Shaman Mew or God slows you down and could cost you the game if you're not careful. Big if. This deck is also hard countered by Rampardos Lucario, making those matchups tricky, though not unwinnable. A properly set up Mew or Arceus can win the game if you pilot it carefully. So despite these issues, Arceus Dialga is undeniably the strongest deck in Pokemon TCG Pocket right now, at least until the new set comes out. So you might be wondering, Sir PP, how do I play this Magnificicante deck? Well, I got you. Here's a deck list to get you started. This deck list comes from the beautiful website that I've been working on with my friend Kata called Pokédex.gg. You should definitely go check it out and tickle the bookmark button so you can stay up to date with the Tier 1 meta decks. But without further ado, here is the deck list. You're going to need 2 God, 2 Dialga EX because you need to ramp, 1 Mew EX because sometimes you don't like Palkia. You're going to need 1 Shaman because you need to heal, and also Cyrus kind of annoying. Plus, you don't want to be screwed over by those 18 trainer Articuno. Nobody likes a good Blizzard. You're going to need 2 Pot of Greed. You're going to need 2 Leaf. That's right, that's all she is, just Leaf. 2 Giovanni, aka Mob Boss Superiorite. 1 Cyrus, although you could argue 1 Giovanni and 2 Cyrus, but honestly, I prefer double Giovanni, 1 Cyrus. So Big Daddy Cyrus gets demoted, that's all it comes down to. 2 Pokeball because searching OP, 2 Pociones because healing OP, 2 Rocky Helmet because you like to see it, 1 Giant Cape because Arceus would very much like it. As for Energy, Metal Energy because you need to ramp and Dialga needs Metal Energy. It's that simple. Please don't throw in Grass unless you're feeling extra spicy. Optionally, you can use Skarmory instead of Shaman and Mew to counter those pesky Manaphy water decks. But then you would also need to run 2 Giant Cape and 2 Rocky Helmets, and you would miss out on running Potions and Shaman, making you more vulnerable to bench swaps. Ultimately, the choice comes down to which decks are most common in the meta, and right now, the Skarmory variant ain't the best choice. Alright, so in this game, it's going to be the mirror match that we're going to be playing. We start off with Dialga EX, which is perfect, whereas they start off with Shaman, which is not perfect. But if they have Leaf, then it doesn't matter. Now, we also get Rocky Helmet, so that's huge. You want the Rocky Helmet on your Dialga EX. It's actually vital. It allows you to set up your Arceus to deal killing blows. Now, we go first, which is not ideal, but luckily this deck can go first or second comfortably, so we don't really care. Now, because they're going second, it's great that they started on Shaman, because if they started on Dialga, we could have been in trouble. Luckily, this is not the case. Now, they do find their God, but they don't find Dialga. This is actually very important to note, because this will slow them down immensely. Whereas for us, it's super vital. Now, I don't drop Arceus down on the board, because generally speaking in the ladder, nobody plays Mars. In tournaments, it might be a better play to drop everything on board and just use Leaf to reposition everything, so that way you don't get completely screwed over by Sabrina. Here they find Dialga, and then they keep building their Arceus. This is where they make the mistake. They put Rocky Helmet on Shaman. Never do that. put it on your Dialga, you're gonna swap anyways, and then you can heal up your Shaman with its own ability. So it's not that big of a deal. Like, I'm not gonna... I don't want to swing into Shaman. It's a complete useless for me. I'm not gonna kill it. I'm not gonna be able to kill it unless I go out of my way to do that, and it's just not worth it. So we Sabrina. This is gonna force either Arceus or Dialga. They're gonna put Dialga in the front, which is the smart play, but this is why you put always your Rocky Helmet on Dialga. This was the play that they should have done, and they didn't do it. Anyways, so this gives me free damage and free ramp, and now they have to slowly build up Dialga EX, or alternatively, they need to leaf and then go straight into Arceus, which is, generally speaking, still not a good play. Ideally, they build up Dialga, which is what they're doing, but it's extremely slow because they just didn't open very well. Luckily for them, they're potioning, so that's pretty good, but still not great, not the best situazione. You want to be able to potion in a more effective manner than as a defensive mechanic. It's just unfortunate for them. Now, with that amount of ramp, we then set up our other god. This is huge because this allows us to essentially combat their god with our god in case one of our gods go down. And this pretty much, I would say at this point, seals the deal. They just haven't realized it yet. And you're going to see what I mean as the game progresses. But there's not much they can do from here. Because of how slow they've been going, and because of the amount of potioning they've done, they don't really have much countermeasures in case we do anything to counter them. Now, they Sabrina us. We're going to throw in our weaker god, the one with less HP. The reason for that is because we don't want to lose out on our full HP at the 160 range. This allows us to avoid Giovanni. This is super importante. You don't want to get Giovanni'd. That would suck. Whereas they don't need to Giovanni the Arceus at 110. Luckily for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down on the 160. We're going to drop down the Dialga EX just so we can deal extra damage. We're going to go Leaf, and we're going to swap our Arceus for Arceus. Or, yes, we're going to swap Arceus for Arceus. This is huge because this allows us to put immense pressure on our opponent. And if they switch into Arceus, we have another Arceus ready to go. If they switch into the other Dialga, well, that's perfectly fine. If they decide to stay as they are, we can just switch into our Dialga and deal, 30 damage and just ramp up even further. So whatever they choose to do, we are pretty much good to go. Now, they choose to just swing because they figure I have Cyrus in hand. They're very right. I do have Cyrus in hand. Here, we're just going to Pot of Greed because you get Pot of Greed, you might as well just use Pot of Greed. It's a free draw too, right? But now we're going to Postione the 110. The reason for it is that way they need to have a full board in order to do the kill. Now we're going to retreat here. The reason for it, Dialga set up with Rocky Helm against their Arceus. Here we're going to heal for 20. That puts 150. Puts us out of kill range. If they want to kill a god, they have to kill the 130. And that will require another Mon on the board. So I'm essentially just making it a little bit more difficult for them to have all the pieces necessary to do this kill. Now, over here, they bring out their Arceus. But luckily for us, with Rocky Helm, if they can't do a switch, which they've already used a Sabrina, so I don't really care, they really can't do much other than swing into our Dialga or Cyrus. Cyrus would be pretty effective here, but it wouldn't actually do much to stop me from basically winning the game still. Now, here they hit us, putting them at a 140. This means that Giovanni is lethal. If I draw into Giovanni, which I don't, it's lethal. Now, they just concede, because they think I have Giovanni. So, where are you going to pull these cards? What packs do you need to focus on? Unfortunately, the key cards from this deck come from multiple different packs, making it hard to get started without Mune, or a lot of time. Giovanni is from Genetic Apex Mewtwo. Mew EX and Leaf are from Mythical Island. Who would have guessed? Dialga EX, Shaman, and Giant Cape are from Space Time Smackdown Dialga. Again, who would have guessed that Dialga comes from the Dialga pack? Big Daddy Cyrus and Rocky Helmet are from Spacetime Smackdown Palkia, because having all these cards in the same pack would have just been too easy. And God is from Triumphant Light, obviously. So there you have it, Arceus EX plus Dialga EX. If you want to build the best deck possible, this is the one. With that being said, that's the Widgio. If you enjoyed this deck profile, you can drop a like, you could subscribe, and it would be nice to let me know in the comments what deck you want to see next. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves a salty day, and I will see you in the next Widgio.